The Arizona Cardinals have 2 picks in the top 3 in this latest 2024 mock draft from Jordan Reid. Who do they select? Why is it a quarterback, Caleb Williams, and Marvin Harrison Jr.? We're going to discuss all the picks next on the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Locked On family? Let's get locked in. Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson, always on the ones and twos. You can find and follow me on Twitter at DP_NFL. I'm a national scout over with the Draft Network, as well as the host, not the co-host, but the host of the Locked On Clips and Podcast. And as always, we tell y'all, thank y'all for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day, Monday through Friday, being our family and the everydayers that we love and appreciate. And as always, the champ is here, Mr. LSU, my guy, Keith Sanchez. You can find and follow him on Twitter at The Talent Code. Keith, talk to him, baby.
What's up, Locked On family? Let's get locked in. This is Keith Sanchez, senior draft analyst with the Draft Network, man. And what? 2019 national champ with those LSU Bengal Tigers, man. But you know why we're here, right? We're here every single day to bring you championship level content. Myself, Damian Parsons, surrounded the NFL draft, whether that's prospects, whether that's philosophies, whether that's roster management and DP. It's Monday, baby. It is Monday, but it's not just any Monday. It is mock draft Monday. And on tap, we have our guy, our good brother, man, Jordan Reid. He dropped his summer 2024 NFL draft, one of the hottest draft analysts, right? In period, right? He's one of the best at what he does, man. So we want to go through his mock draft because, you know, we know that he put the work in. You can check his Instagram. You can check his Twitter. Jordan Reid puts the work in, watch the film. So we trust some of his things, but you know, we're going to give him a little smoke from time to time, right? We got to talk about him. We got to let him know if we agree or disagree with some situations. But DP, before we get this thing started, I know you got to pull up and do the scroll thing. So I know you know, a little excited. I'm ready to see if you're going to get it right. But let's get into the title sponsor first, man, before we kick this thing off.
Guys, today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So, Keith, yes, I have to do the whole, electronic thing and all the switching and all that type of stuff. We're going to see if I nail it the first time. If not, y'all take it. Baby, y'all take it for love. Y'all take it for love. Hey, listen, we about to find out. So we about to find out here and get it popping real quick. Let me go ahead and make that share screen. Oh, that was smooth. That was
okay.
Smooth.
He got it right. For those who are not watching on YouTube, he got it right. There was a minimal glitch, right? Like a 5-second hesitation. But I had to give him his credit because he did way better than what I would have done. So, DP, Jordan Reid's 2024 NFL mock draft.
Yes, sir.
Let's go through it, baby.
Jordan Reid, starting off with the spice, man. At number 1, we're going through picks 1 through 10, guys. You know how we do it here. So at number 1, we have the Arizona Cardinals staying put and drafting their new quarterback, Caleb Williams out of USC. At number 2, with their pick from the Houston Texans, they're also standing pat and staying put to draft wide receiver from Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr. At number 3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select quarterback of North Carolina, Drake Maye. Number 4, the Indianapolis Colts select Olu Fashanu, offensive tackle from Penn State. Number 5, the Los Angeles Rams select Jarrett Verse, edge defender from Florida State. And number 6, your boy Keith, J.C. Latham, OT2 from Alabama, coming off the board to the Tennessee Titans. At number 6 and number 7, we got a nice run on tackles. Joe Alt, offensive tackle from Notre Dame, at number 7 to the Green Bay Packers. At number 8, the Sam Howell experience has ended. Quinn Ewers, QB from Texas, is heading to Washington. Number 9, the Las Vegas Raiders, outside of the realm for a quarterback again. Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback from Alabama. And at number 10, we have the Chicago Bears from their pick with the Carolina Panthers select Dallas Turner, edge from Alabama. Keith, brother, out of those first 10 picks from Jordan Reid's mock, what stood out to you?
We got to start with pick one, right? And that's Caleb Williams going to the Arizona Cardinals, because obviously, what is that signal? That signal the Cardinals are moving on from Kyler Murray after what, 1 year or half a year of him playing after the contract, right? Like they gave him the contract and then he got injured this past year, but then he's probably not going to play this year, right? And then so you're going to see a trade, and the conversation that's going to come from this is who is suitors, right? Who are suitors for Kyler Murray? And the thing is this, that one, you compare Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams all the time. You say that Caleb Williams is a bigger Kyler Murray. And then two, have we seen Kyler Murray outside of that system, right? Like, is he a scheme-specific quarterback? So there's so many conversations and things you have to pull from this move by the Arizona Cardinals. And then secondly, just real quick to follow up, I say I like it, right? I like getting Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. to usher your offense into a new era.
Yeah, and I think the other part is like, okay, who's the coach? Is it still is it Jonathan Gannon? I think is the DC from the Eagles. Is Gannon still the head coach? What offense are they actually going to run with Caleb? Because he's also coming from the same system, basically, right? Like Lincoln Riley, he's coming from that same offense. So is he going to be a scheme dependent guy? And there's nobody else that runs that particular offense in the league. So it's like, all right, is he actually someone that can mold his game to a traditional or more traditional NFL style offense, where it's not that kind of just pure air raid spread type of situation? But even Jordan put in there, it's a tricky situation because he said Murray has a $51.9 million cap hit in 2024, and the team will face a huge dead money hit if they moved on from him. But he said Williams is special. So
I'll say this with the cap hit situation, I'm kind of throwing it out the window, right? Because I kept, and on our draft network meetings, right? I kept asking people last year. I said, hey, is Aaron Rodgers going to ask for a trade? Nah. He'll just retire. And I said, is Aaron Rodgers? Nah, the cap hit is way too big. They wouldn't trade. I kept asking that, DP. I kept saying this guy's, he's showing me signs of a guy that just want to trade, right? Like, he's like, you know what? I'm up out of here. I ain't done yet because I want my money, but I'm up out of here. So with that being said, is I understand the cap hit, right? And I'm not one of the guys just to say that the cap is all the way fake. But I think there's some ways you can maneuver, right? In the Arizona Cardinals, you're getting a quarterback on a rookie contract that you feel like is more talented than Kyler Murray. It may be worth it.
No, that's a big fact. And not only that, but the Arizona Cardinals know, even with Caleb Williams, you're not winning no time soon. So who cares if you got a big cap hit? You're in a rebuild. So I totally understand it. I'm more, and you can speak to this more than anybody else because you know how I feel about it. I'm a big Kyler Murray guy. I felt like this would be a crazy move because of the cap hit, but I'm actually kind of more open to it, not just for Arizona to move on, but for Kyler Murray to get to a better situation.
And listen, you just brought up, and I don't even know, we're probably not going to have time for you to bring up your biggest unless we delay it or something, but I just had another thought, right? What if the Cardinals do it again? And it's like, do what again? Bring in the head coach quarterback combination. I am telling you, DP, don't shake your head at me. I'm telling you, there's a possibility that might happen. I can full on see Lincoln Riley because, listen, he left Oklahoma to go to LA, right? Like he wanted to be in LA. Phoenix is not too far for LA, right? It's the same vibe. The sun, it's trees. DP, we've been out there. It's a nice
we have.
Right? And guess what? If I'm making even more money and I'm coaching in the NFL and I'm coaching Caleb Williams, not a bad gig. So they may do it again. That's all I'm saying. They may do it again, DP.
Listen, we gonna see. I'm gonna hold my thoughts for a couple months. I'm gonna see what happens. But my takeaway wasn't too far, from yours. Drake may go into Tampa, man. If they keep the core offensively that they have, Rashad White at running back, this offensive line being healthy and continue to grow with Tristan Wirfs and those guys on the interior offensive line as well. And then if you keep Mike Williams and the tight ends, take a next step forward as young Cade Otton and Luke Keith and Chris Godwin and those boys. If they keep that core together, they could be right back in the mix for battling for this division with Drake Maye, because he is, one of the best quarterbacks that I think I've graded over the past couple of years, just his entire total skill set. So I love this fit for them guys. But listen, that's our takeaways for the first 10 picks, Keith.
Yeah, no, we rode through them. And I, like I said, this is so top heavy. I think that's what makes this exciting, right? Like we didn't even get through picks 4 through 10 because picks 1 through 3 are so polarized, and just with the names, DP, you gotta keep this thing going, right? We can really go through every single pick, but we're on a time crunch here. We're gonna keep this thing going. So DP, why don't you kick it off with picks 11 through 20?
These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Guys, it's very simple. Once you create everything you need, you can add your job, put a purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. So you have simple tools at your disposal, like screening questions that make it easy to focus on candidates with the right skill set and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. So, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now what you need to do is LinkedIn Jobs will help you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. The Chicago Bears have back-to-back selections, Keith, and they did what I wanted them to do in 2023, but just a year later. Go to the wide receiver core at Ohio State. They selected Emeka Egbuka at number 12. The the New England Patriots select Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. Number 13, the Atlanta Falcons select Braylon Trice, edge defender from Washington. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Mason Smith, defensive tackle from LSU. Number 15, the New York Giants select their big body XZ receiver, Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. The Denver Broncos select edge defender JT Tuamaloa from Ohio State. 17, Houston Texans select defensive tackle from Ohio State, Michael Hall Jr. At number 18, we have Donovan Jackson, a run Ohio State players, guard from Ohio State. Number 19, the Seattle Seahawks select Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle from Illinois. Number 20, the New Orleans Saints select Christian Mahogany, guard from Boston College. Keith, I want to kick this one off. There's a couple things here that caught my eye, but I am going to go to number 12. The New England Patriots. I don't know why I keep saying the Saints. New England Patriots taking Brock Bowers. We talked about as a king in the mountain on Friday's pod, Keith. This Hunter Henry entering his final season's contract.
Mm-hmm.
They only signed Mike Gesicki for 1 year. Is he wide receiver one? Like, is that what we're doing? Like, right. Is that what we're telling Mac Jones? Like, we're never gonna get you a true wide receiver one, but we can get you a tight end that we can use as wide receiver one, which we've done. They've done it before, right? With Tom Brady, they did the same thing, getting him a Gronk. I love the pick because of that type of correlation. It's still, they still need receivers, man.
Well, yeah, I think this, but we know Bill Belichick, right? Like he for whatever reason, he likes tight ends more than he likes wide receivers, right? And it's not even close. It's by a big gap. And I mean, if you had Rob Gronkowski, you can't be mad at that, right? At that situation. So I kind of understand it. And then also this, if we look at value, right? Brock Bowers might finish as a top 5 player in this class, and they get him at pick 12. So there is some value there. It just, I think it depends. And then who else? Because did they get another tight end? I believe they got was it from Miami? But I mean, he's not necessarily a tight end, right? Yeah, they got Mike Gesicki, but
another big receiver.
Yeah, a big wide receiver. So I don't necessarily look at him as a tight end. So it's Hunter Henry. Maybe they want to get back to those 2 tight end sets for sure. and they go with Brock Bowers. And just what we talked about right on Friday on the podcast, was that it's easy to get the ball in Brock Bowers' hands. And we talked about Mac Jones, right? We talked about how he doesn't have an explosive arm, right? So those short throws, and have somebody that could convert them into run after the catch ability could potentially be there. But I agree, they still need to get him a wide. Like just get him a good wide receiver. Like stop not getting him a wide receiver, because now it's almost like you're trying not to give him a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like we're doing the most right now. But DP, can you scroll up one more? I just need you to scroll up to pick number
one more. I got you.
Pick 11. Boom, Emeka Egbuka, right? Wide receiver, Ohio State to the Chicago Bears. They get him another wide receiver, right? Like they giving Justin Fields. They went from no wide receivers to you're going to have all the wide receivers. And I like this pick, and I'm gonna tell you why, DP. When I was watching Emeka Egbuka, we talked about him on the podcast, right? A couple of days ago, and then I watched him again. And you know who I thought of? I thought of Brandon Ayuk, and it's from the perspective of. I like his run after the catch ability. I think is explosive, right? But are you totally comfortable with saying he's wide receiver 1? And I don't think you're comfortable all the way with that with Emeka Egbuka. And I don't think that's Brandon Ayuk's role either. But as a wide receiver 2, you're like, oh yeah, we're rolling now, right? And then when I think about Justin Fields, and hopefully they implement an offense with easy throws. And I think Emeka Egbuka is one of those guys, you get him the ball in short areas, right? Whether that's screens or dump offs, motions, orbit motions, things like that. And Justin Fields can throw it to him. He's an explosive runner vertically to pick up the yardage. So I really like it in that complementary piece with DJ Moore. Then who else did they got the wide receiver from Cincinnati.
Chase Claypool.
Yeah, they got Chase Claypool, wide receiver from Cincinnati. Darnell Mooney. So they gives you 5 like pit bulls, right? That gives you 5 guys that all can roll. So I really like that situation.
No, I like it too, Keith. And I love let me tell you, look, guys, for y'all that don't know, Keith Sanchez will tell you, he'll tell you, but I'm not good at, comping players. But he's been nailing these comps the past couple episodes. Xavier Worthy, T.Y. Hilton, right? George Kittle and Brock Bowers. Brandon Ayuk and Emeka Egbuka. I'm just saying, Keith, I want to give you a little bit more credit than you give yourself, brother.
Hey, appreciate that, baby. Appreciate it. That's why we're on the podcast. Listen. That's why we're on the podcast. We give each other our flowers, right? Like, you know what? That's my guy. That's how we're the 2 hottest in the game doing this thing, man. But DP, if you keep scrolling down, I want to list off one other name that jumped off to me. I think it would keep going with pick. Keep one other one. I want to okay, that's the one that I thought was interesting. I wanted to ask you how you felt about the Denver Broncos with JT Tuamamalu, the edge rusher from Ohio State, because I know they run an odd front, right? And JT is one of those heavier guys. So are you projecting him as an edge rusher, or is it this a defensive lineman, or like what are you doing? Or are you just saying, hey, if I'm Denver, I'm running multiple fronts anyway, so just take him because he's an edge rusher?
I think that last part is big. They do run multiple fronts, and they like to be versatile with their pass rush sets. Having Randy Gregory, and it's very. This selection is a little weird because of the fact that they got Baron Browning, Randy Gregory, Nick Benito. They drafted Drew Sanders, so is Drew just playing straight linebacker now? Like, you're not gonna let him rush, right? And if you drafting JT, who is, I think he's listed like 260, maybe 270, but he moves much better and more athletic than his actual size would identify with, right? Drops off in the coverage. He's got quick first step off the ball, kind of explosive burst to turn the corner and get to the court and flatten his arc to the quarterback, but. This is I think this could work because of the multiplicity and versatility and creativity they do defensively, but It's just so odd because they have so many pass rushers. I don't know the contract situation for Randy Gregory, right? So it's like, they add Jordan talked about how they added Zach Allen, who's more of a defensive end, that 3-4 defensive end, that all front defensive end, to help in the run game and everything. But it's like I said, it's just a little different because they have so many pass rushers. So it's like, is JT, like you said, is JT going to kick inside and rush more as a 3-tech? If you want to go kind of what was it? The Giants that did that NASCAR package where you had nothing but edge rushers on the field, basically, right? And you had Justin Tuck is the only true like defensive tackle, but he looked like an edge rusher himself at times, right? So I think that you can, especially, I think at the end of the day, I just talked myself into the pick being okay, because the fact of the matter is you got to still get after Patrick Mahomes. He's right in your division, right? You want to get after him. That's the guy you don't want to blitz. You want to get after him with 4. So I don't hate the pick at all. It just kind of caught me off guard because I listed like 4 or 5 guys who could rush the passer for him, and one of them is playing linebacker. That is traditionally an edge. So I didn't think they needed another edge, but we see. I mean, it's a good pick though. Like I said, it gives you a lot more ways to get after Mahomes and Justin Herbert, and well, nobody's worried about the Raiders quarterback situation. Jimmy G ain't going nowhere.
Right. Well,
you can heat him up with the blitz. He ain't running nobody.
Yeah, that was the one question mark I had that I wanted to see, just as far as player fit situation. But DP, man, that's picks 11 through 20, right? Which we had some, we still rolling with some highly talented names. We still seeing some big time names, and we've seen some big time names that haven't came off the board yet. Like I think my guy Chop Robinson, another edge rusher from Penn State, hasn't come off the board yet. So coming up next, we're going to get through picks 21 through 32.
Entry to Bird Dogs, guys. They make me look and feel good. They're going to do the same thing for you, because Bird Dogs stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and the leg, give you a truly sculpted look. Their shorts do the exact same thing as Lululemon's, but they fit way better. Not only do they fit way better than Lululemon, they fit better than your regular shorts that are made of that stiff, restricting cotton that you don't like, that you got tucked away in your dresser drawers or your closet. Bird Dogs use a cloud knit fabric that looks just like khakis, but they stretch so you get a way slimmer fit without sacrificing the movement. Bird Dogs use an anti-stink and sweat wicking fabric that you're going to love because it keeps you cool and dry all day long. Guys, just go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNFL or use the promo code LockedOnNFL for a free Yeti style tumbler with your next order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnNFL or promo code LockedOnNFL for a free Yeti style tumbler with your next order. You will not want to take off your Bird Dogs. We promise you. 21, Keith, you talked him up. Chop Robinson, edge from Penn State, going to the Minnesota Vikings. At 22, those Los Angeles Chargers selecting Chris Jenkins, defensive tackle from Michigan. At number 23, the Green Bay Packers with the pick via the New York Jets select safety from Miami, Cameron Kitchens. At 24, guard from Kansas State, Cooper Beebe. Number 25, the Detroit Lions go back to the cornerback Kalen King from Penn State. 26, Georgia cornerback Kamari Lassiter to the Jacksonville Jaguars. At 27, another corner, Jalen Marshall Jr., cornerback from Florida, to the Dallas Cowboys. At 28, you talk about replacing the linebacker. The Buffalo Bills select Jeremiah Trotter Jr., linebacker from Clemson. Number 29, Kingsley Suamataia, offensive tackle from BYU, heading to the 49ers. At number 30, Graham Barton, another offensive tackle from Duke, heading to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Georgia Eagles do it again. They select Javon Bullard, safety from the University of Georgia. And oh my God, the Kansas City Chiefs select Xavier Worthy, wide receiver from Texas. Keith, where do we start?
I cannot be honest. This might have been the most fun part of the entire mock draft.
100%.
Because I have I wish we could make this to his own show, like another 30 minutes. The Green Bay Packers, I ran about them again. They go safety. I'm not mad at them taking safety, right? But this is the thing with the Green Bay Packers, because people always get mad at the Green Bay Packers. You better have a top 5 defense if you're going to take this many defensive players. I'm not mad that you're going defense. Go defense. Defense wins championships. But the issue is that when you take that many defensive players in the first round, you better be able to turn that into a top 5 defense. That's the standard, right? Like if you draft that many guys in the first round. So that's my issue with the not even the issue with the pick or the Green Bay Packers, but I'm just saying that that's the threshold, right? Like, I'm not mad about them taking defensive players. Just show me a top 5 defense overall. If you're going to consistently take first round defensive players, but you could keep scrolling that thing down, DP, because that was my rant, and I'll probably go on that rant another 10 times this year. I'm Kalen King with the Detroit Lions. I like that pick. Kalen King is smooth. He's not, your prototype build as far as being 6 foot, 6'1", 195 pounds. He's 5'11", 205, something like that, right? But he's quick, he's smooth, he's fluid, he wants to tackle. I like this pick for the Detroit Lions.
I like it too. And reading the blurb from Jordan Reid, he talked about the fact that that Kalen King reminds him of one of my favorite cornerbacks over the last 5 to 7 years, and that's Denzel Ward. Being kind of an undersized corner, but being able to blanket receivers and really stay in phase and cover guys very well, especially with his footwork, his hip fluidity, being able to transition, things like that. Like you said, this back end of this mock draft was extremely entertaining in so many different spots. So I got to go here. Number 22, bruh. The Los Angeles Chargers selecting finally. You know what I'm saying? If anybody who's a former WWF fan, remember The Rock, right? Not the actor, but the wrestler, The Rock. He'll always say, finally, to start off his promo, finally, the Chargers select a nose tackle. Dear God. Like from years of dealing with teams saying, you know what? I don't want to throw the ball where you have all these defensive backs. I'm going to run at you because you can't stop it. But now getting a big physical guy, and he put in here, the Chargers defense last season, guys, listen to this, surrendered a league high 5.4 yards per carry, almost 6 yards per carry. And you could have just drafted Jordan Davis and you wouldn't have had no problem. But you guys, they got mad at me last year, Keith, when I kept mocking Jordan Davis to the Chargers. They was like, they didn't need it. They had Sebastian Joseph-Day. Well, you still almost gave up 6 yards per carry. So the fact of the matter is simple, man. For me, when you get a 6'3", 285-pound guy who added weight, he added weight and muscle to play more of that defensive tackle, and I could see him adding potentially another 15 to 20, getting up to 300, and still be able to be a 1-tech, a 0-1 tech, or a 2-eye. This is a good sign. This is a really good sign for them, man, because, again, almost 6 yards per carry allowed. That's not it, man. But for me, Keith, as well, like I said, so many different picks here.
I go to pick 27, I believe. That was the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, Jalen Marshall.
I guess is a question mark about Stephon Gilmore, right? Like how long he'll be in Dallas, because it's interesting that they're drafting a corner. You know what I'm saying? And Jason Marshall, he's a 6'2". Like, you're drafting him to be a starter and not a nickel guy. He's going to be on the outside. He's playing on the boundary. So just drafting him, I'm like, okay, so that they must have plans, you know what I'm saying, with Stephon Gilmore or something like that. But I want to give them credit, DP, and I know you're probably about to go here too. Jeremiah Trier Jr., linebacker, getting Clemson. Like that Clemson linebacker tandem is the real deal. They're both they both read the run, they both have high level skills, they both explosive players, they're both athletic. And I think with them losing Edmonds, right? Maybe they weren't able to fill that hole immediately this year, but they feel it next year, and with a young guy on a rookie contract. So I like that pick by the Buffalo Bills.
And to your point about the Cowboys selection in this mock draft, he puts in the blurb, Stephon Gilmore is turning 33 years old this season and entering the final year of his contract. So they, planning ahead, right? Getting Jalen Marshall Jr., who they had said is like 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds. He talks about just having the arm length and wingspan concerns in man-to-man coverage, and how scouts want to see him make a bigger impact on passes in the air this next season. But yeah, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., man, losing Tremaine Edmonds was big for this team. And like you talked about, Jeremiah Trotter and Barrett Carter, who I'm a little shocked didn't make it, but again, they try to devalue. People try to devalue the position of linebacker in general. I think for me, man, it's very simple. Like, this is a great pick. This is a home run because he could play that. He's going to play the play caller, right? He's going to be the guy with the green dot calling plays out of the huddle, and he gives you athleticism, sideline to sideline range, like instinctive, great eye discipline and vision in the backfield to locate the football and make plays on it. So, man, this is a pick I really, really like for the Buffalo Bills. And then I got to go down. I got to go down. Given Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, another explosive, dynamic receiver. It's just like, now granted, he's undersized, right? So you got Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, and now you have Xavier Worthy. But I think the big thing I always talk about, building your receiver core or your receiving weapons like a basketball team, right? Well, what is basketball nowadays? It's positionless. So you typically have one big scorer at the center, power forward, or interchangeable, a guy that could play both positions. And typically late in games, you want to have as many shooters on the field, on the court as possible. So we're having Travis Kelce as essentially your center power forward for this offense. Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, and if you add Xavier Worthy, you got yourself some shooters, baby. You can shoot the ball from long distance and give him, if you want to double, you want to go ahead and double Jokic or Shaq in the paint, you want to double that big guy, that's cool because I'm going to kick it out to my shooters, right? And when you can hit the long ball in the NBA, that puts so much pressure on the opposite team. And I think it's the same thing in the NFL, man. If you want to double Travis Kelce and they got Xavier Worthy and like I said, and Scott Moore and Kadarius Toney, they can strike from anywhere, Keith, with that potential offense. That's terrifying for defenses, man.
No, I agree 100%, man. He like Xavier Worthy in that offense with killing. I know them be like, oh man, well they had Miko Harmon. Nah, Xavier Worthy, he's a more refined wide receiver.
He's an actual receiver.
Yeah. Yup, he's not just a fast guy. So that's gonna be fun, man. That wraps up Jordan's Reid, right? I think this is his first 2024 NFL mock draft. And man, we went through it. Like I said, man, there's some really good picks. We like to go through Jordan stuff because, like you said, highly talented guy. We know that he puts the work in. One of the most skilled guys in this NFL draft evaluation industry, man. So we wanted to go through Jordan Reed's, had some fun, man. We had a couple picks that we, had a couple question marks about, but this thing was set off the entire time. That's why I'm so excited about this 2024 NFL draft period. This draft class is going to be a lot of fun discussions. And guess what? Like any other year, there's probably 5 to 7 first rounders that have yet to be found, right? That still have to emerge. So this thing's going to be exciting, man. But DP, that wraps up our mock draft Monday, man. I thought that was exciting. I thought it was fun.
Nah, it was a lot of fun. Shout out to Jordan Reid. That was an entertaining mock draft with some nice, spicy, and great picks in there, man. But guys, as always, we appreciate y'all. Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Get the latest episode as soon as it's available. Thank y'all for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day, Monday through Friday, being our family and our everydayers. We appreciate and love y'all. In terms of tomorrow's show, the scouting notebook is still open, and we're getting into those edge rushers. Chop Robinson, JT, right? Braylon Trice, ZTF from what it's a lot of names that we could get into for this edge rusher class. And ultimately, the question will be, is this another position that is better than 2023? We're going to see where the pendulum swings on that discussion. But guys, as always, in terms of Twitter, you can find Keith Sanchez at The Talent Code. And follow him as well. You can find and follow me, Damian Parson, at DP_NFL. Come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.